TMDE Sports is brought to you by Fanatics.com for all your official licensed gear. Did the Browns try to tank the season a few years ago? We have a very special guest who might shed some light on the subject. Let's have a conversation. You can catch us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Radio Line, and Spreaker. Let's get it. We have a very special guest, kind of unexpected, but it is what it is. Man is raised a very popular NFL player. We want to pay tribute to this man. This man is a veteran. He served in the military. He served his country. He did what he had to do with his country, and now he is reaping the benefits of everything he's done, everything he's accumulated, and his gene pool. Oh my God! I have to introduce this man. RG-2 is in the building. RG-2, thank you for coming on the show, my brother. We appreciate you. How you feeling tonight?
Pretty good. Yourself?
We are doing wonderful, 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 wonderful.
Appreciate you.
No doubt, no doubt. So I got to ask you a question. Your son played in Cleveland for about a year or two, and I know you guys are very close. And I have to ask you. There was a controversy here in Cleveland when you were here about Hugh Jackson and the management of the team. And, you have a conversation with your son. And how did your son feel about playing in Cleveland when he was here? And B100, it is what it is.
Yeah. So Robert was excited about Cleveland. And if the Cleveland fans remember, they had a really good preseason. And it was really looking up, and everybody was really into it, and so, their first game, he got hurt. And I think that really hurt a lot because it was, because of the success, the people that was there, that were hungry, that team was really, I think it was a really good team. It's just that he got hurt, and that kind of hurt because then after that, we lost a couple of quarterbacks also that year. The people that came behind, I think, could have been 3 quarterbacks that they used that year. And then Robert and them came back and they beat San Diego, who was playoff bound. And then they pretty much almost beat Pittsburgh and knocked them out the playoff, but then we had a fumble in the goal line. So his experience in Cleveland, I thought it was positive for him. We talked about it. I can't say anything on the coach because based on what I was looking at in the preseason, I thought that they were going to be really good that year. But Robert got hurt, in that first game. So everything changed. So everyone had to start making changes, and when you build a camaraderie with people and then someone is not there, you can kind of see the effect of it. So as far as Hugh Jackson is concerned, if Robert would have played and what I was seeing of them in preseason, if people go back and look at it, they'll say like, hey, this team was ready. So, management can't say nothing about him. I can't because we didn't see Robert get ready to do his thing because he was really motivated and this, free action because the thing about it, he didn't even have any surgery from that ankle that incident happened. They checked it out.
Football happens.
It happened. And that's why I say, so, to me, we was excited because, Jim Brown, everybody know, he was our guy in the South. When it comes to running back, everybody want to be that guy, and then along the way, Kozar and all them other guys, it's just unfortunate it happened, but the preseason was really telling how good that team could have been. Because the defense responded to the offense responded to the defense, and that's what you want. You want both of those groups of people motivating each other. So, and outside that, then, the media, and they, when things went south, they stepped up their game and, kept things going. And so it became another story in the Cleveland legacy. But I felt good about that team. You know, we went to every game. You know, even though Rob wasn't playing, we was at every game. You know, because we felt really good about that team.
No doubt. So before I know JB and Aaron want to ask you a question. I got to ask you this question. Now that Watson is here, and I don't know how big of a Cleveland fan you are, how do you feel about the prospects of this team this year? Now that RG3's gone, Hugh Jackson's gone, same ownership. How do you feel? Do you think this team can achieve right now?
You know, to me, I think that sometimes you place too much emphasis on ownership because they're not playing. There's the people in the locker room. You know, their personal commitment. Now, I'm really high on Deshaun Watson football, right? And so I think that for him, if he be the baller he was coming out of Clemson and to the Texans, you guys gonna have a great year. You know, they just got to buy in. You know, he had a lot to deal with. You know, and he know what he has to do for that. But yes, Watson is going to be amazing. You know, I saw some things that kid did. You know, at Clemson, in Houston, and I'm like, I understand. So Cleveland got a good situation. I mean, really good situation. You know, as long as he don't read the newspaper clippings. He go out there and everyone go out there and they focus in on what their task is. You know, there was a good team last year, and honestly, even when they was not winning, they were a good team, and I can identify with Cleveland, say the last 20 years. I'm from New Orleans. Y'all know how it was down there. They were wearing bags.
Right, yeah.
Not wrong. They ain't wearing no bags no more. And so I think that, Cleveland is a good team. I mean, Cleveland's a good team.
Okay.
And I feel sorry for them Bengals because they talking a lot of smack, but I think Cleveland's gonna beat them. I think Cleveland's gonna beat them both times. I think.
All right.
But they gotta be locked in. They gotta be locked in. If they're not locked in, because in my opinion, the officiators, they favor Burrow and those boys down there. But I think when it comes down to it, if you look at the game they played last year against Cincinnati, man, they played.
No doubt.
We usually beat them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But they got that wave with them right now. But no one was watching Cleveland, but I was. And a lot of other people was watching Cleveland. And it's like they win some, they lose some, but they were in the games.
Right.
And when they're in the games, you come back the next year, man, everybody hungry, and it's like you got to have short memory, when it comes to wins and losses, So I'm looking for Cleveland to prove me 100% correct. Cleveland balling this year.
All right. I like that.
Because you guys are fans.
Ain't no hating RG-2. For sure. Ain't no hate in him. I like it. Like that.
So
yeah.
Deshaun Watson, you guys
okay.
Okay.
All right. So Aaron want to ask you a question, RG2. He want to ask you a question. Go ahead and pose it, bro.
First of all, as the only non-veteran on the panel today, I want to thank all three of y'all for your service. For real, man. Freedom don't come without sacrifice, and I thank you guys.
No doubt.
When it comes to things like this, when I see parents, I'm a big advocate of great fathers. And when I see a parent that raises a pro athlete, it gets me to thinking about genetics. You know what I mean? Heard a little bit about you playing high school basketball with a left-hand jumper. Can you tell me a little bit about, your endeavors in sports, sir?
Well, I think, basketball was easy. When I got out of high school, at that point, it's like the world was changing a lot. So I felt like I needed to go do something, get that education, but I need to start somewhere else. And that's why I joined the military. And basketball tremendously helped me there as well, because, you deal with all these men, and it's, the Army is about strength, intelligence and strength. And they do a lot of sports. And if you're doing well in sports, it carries and it gives you that more camaraderie with the people you work with. So, I felt like basketball was fun. I was so competitive. I didn't start enjoying basketball until I was like 45. Because I was so competitive, getting a chance to like look like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
But it would be a kill or be killed, you know,
Right.
and that was good. You know, so like I said, when I got about 45, I'm like, okay, I can enjoy this. The legs are gone, but the jumper's still there. So, you know, it look better than young people like Brinson and run all over the place.
Yeah, that jumper is wet, y'all. He got a good jump.
Oh yeah. That is how you, amongst men, that's how you get the pecking order. Who can do what, who got skills and who don't got skills. You know, who gonna show up, who gonna show up on game time, who I want in my foxhole.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So JB, you got something you want to add? RG2, man, go ahead.
You asked me a lot.
Oh yeah. I'm just gonna ask him about what he think about Rodgers joining the Jets, you know, because of all those weapons that they got in New York, and he, you know, got a fresh start. How do you feel he's gonna do now with his new team? You think it's gonna be, you know, it's a threat now? You know,
Okay,
with the Jets having Rodgers with all those weapons.
Can you say it again? I didn't hear the first part of it.
Aaron Rodgers with the Jets.
Oh,
How you feel about that?
I said,
you know, on paper, everybody's saying it, you know, and I think that Aaron Rodgers is a proven winner. No one can take that from him, you know, but the people around him has to buy in. And the reason why I say that is because I'm still, the jury's out on this team to me. Now, I'm gonna give you a quick example. You remember when Magic Johnson came back to the Lakers, he was coaching, and he got so frustrated, he started playing. I don't know if y'all remember that?
yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember.
And so the thing is, with Aaron Rodgers is, you know, tremendous talent. But are they gonna buy in? And think about this. Boston. Kyrie Irving leaves Cleveland, goes to Boston. Y'all remember that, right? And that team was really good before Kyrie got there.
Right. Just didn't fit.
So what I'm saying to you is I'm looking to see if things gonna be different, how Kyrie goes to Boston and Rodgers goes to the Jets. And we saw how it happened with Kyrie in Boston, you know, because the Jets were a solid team last year. They just needed a few pieces. They got a huge piece. Sometimes the big fish in a small pond tilts the pond and the water comes out. So for me, I can't speak like positive towards the Jets. On paper, okay, you know, I get it. But to me, they got to buy in. And then, you know, that culture has to make a big change. So when you bring in a certain person like that, you know, that position is stocked, but he's only as good as people up front. And then you saw how when he was frustrated in Green Bay, how things went. So for me, the jury is out. On paper, they dynamite.
Yeah, they got Sauce Gardner. I think real quick before we about to reach the end of the show, I think Aaron's a little overrated. I really do. You know, I would have thought that all the hype and all the, you know, with McCarthy and then just different coaches that he would at least have 3 rings. But I think it's more hype with Aaron than it is actually the bite of the dog. You know, so we just gonna have to wait and see. We got him in the preseason and we got him at the end of the season. So we just gonna have to see, man, where the Browns are at, and it is what it is.
He won the same without the
one thing about remember this. What people don't realize is just for one game, it's hard to win a football game.
Correct.
You know, so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be watching, but it's going to be interesting. Like I said, you know, the Jets, they was a solid team last year.
Yeah.
Can he put them over the top? I mean, he has the ability to, no question about that. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. I mean, and
I think it'll be tough.
What do you have left in the tank? I think that's the biggest issue is his drive as strong as it was, you know, early on, you know, possible. I mean, can he put the ball where he want to put the ball? Absolutely. So, but I'm watching. We come back in after the season and talk about this. I'm watching.
No doubt. All right, fellas, y'all want to say? You want to say something real quick before we go? Yeah.
I'm basically just saying, kind of what RG2 was saying, basically it's what Aaron Rodgers that shows up. But if you look at the Jets, man, the Jets are equipped, and they were really a quarterback away from being a real tough team, last year. But the thing is, the Browns are a lot tougher. Cincinnati's tougher. I even think Kansas City's going to be tough this year. The Bills are going to be tough this year. It's just, are they going to be tough enough in the AFC? That's the biggest thing, because really look at Aaron Rodgers without Javonte Adams. Really, we got to find out what can he do, and I think we got to steal with Elijah Moore. So we'll see, we shall see. But I think the Jets, they'll make the playoffs, but they're one and done.
All right. Yeah, I think so too.
Strong
JB, what you got to say, bro, before we go?
Well, I just want to agree with him too. I think I got to watch and see, but I do believe that Aaron Rodgers is a certified leader. And I think he's going to get that locker room, all together, and they're going to buy in. And I think the Jets are a legitimate threat. I just really think you can't just overlook them. So I'm gonna be. It's going to be a great season. And I want to continue to hear what RG2 got to say about how they playing throughout the season. So, just keep a good, close eye on the Jets.
Let me tell you this. You have to remember that AFC got some balling teams up there.
Correct.
I mean, they're ball. I mean, the AFC is going to hurt each other. It's like the SEC. The AFC is strong. I mean, you look down all the teams. I mean, who is actually bad? Honestly, who I'm asking you guys, who's actually bad in the AFC?
Not nobody. Nobody.
See, that's what I'm saying. So,
Right.
The Steelers going to be bad.
I'm just saying, but when you look at the AFC, even though they got to upgrade their quarterback, that's still that team. Those teams are solid.
The Bills, they're in the division.
They solid.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be some gains, and when they get the conference and division, there's gonna be some gains because all those teams are solid. Because I was thinking about that while you guys was talking. I'm like, man, the Ravens, England. I mean, these guys and the teams you guys calling, like, it's just gonna be. I think the AFC is not gonna have any undefeated teams by week 8.
Yeah.
If they're playing against each other.
What y'all think about Tom Brady being part owner of the Raiders? Do you think that's going to make the Raiders? We got McDaniels from Canton, Ohio, coaching them. So tell me, do you think Tom Brady being owner, you think he might get in there and be an owner player maybe? Yeah, you think he's done with that?
Yeah, I mean, he has the brand. We can't say he has the brand. So that's going to bring money. It's going to bring the team money. We got a lot of money in Vegas anyway, but it's going to bring the team money because he's a great sportsman for an organization, and his appeal is universal. So I'm not sure how he's going to affect the play, but he's definitely going to affect what comes into that as far as sponsorship and money. No doubt there.
No doubt. All right, man. We up against it. RG2, I appreciate you so much, man. Make sure you bring 3 on him so we can holler at your boy. But I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your service. Me and JB, we serve. I'm a Marine and Army. I was in Fort Hood too.
Well, hold on before we go.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Speaking of service, I want to hear one of those one of his most favorite war stories you can share with us before we go. Come on, let me hear one of because we had a couple of them while we was out there in Iraq. Me and you.
Yeah.
No. You didn't tell us one of your favorite ones though. You got so many.
There's a lot, but for you is that we had a mission and we put some people out there. And because we were at Fort Hood now, Cavasses, we had sent Brinson and a young lady with some other folks that was stationed at Fort Stewart. And Brinson can tell you guys what happened to them. But when everybody came back, Brinson wasn't there. So I went and talked to the folks, hey, where's my people? And they was like, well, we got separated. So I got some people together and we went out. So imagine me going into Texas with like 5 vehicles and some stuff, to support us and looking for somebody. It's like, needing a haystack, right? And through all of what we was trying to find them. And I actually found them, went into a spot and I saw, hey, that's our vehicle. Went over there and Brinson was, behind the place, secured, and we grabbed him. Then we went and found the other young lady and we brought everybody back, and when I look at Iraq, I'm like, God was with us on that, because there was no way I was gonna find that guy, and I found him. There was no way I was gonna find him. And there's such a large place and so much was going on.
Yeah,
so that was important. And like I said, when I see him and the other young lady, it made me feel good because God led me to the right spot. Because the people that we put him with didn't care about him. But I cared about him, and that was important to me.
Yeah, I could tell you some stories, but I ain't gonna even get into that, But like I said, RG2, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the show, and I'm glad you are in good health and your family's in good health and everything. We're gonna talk again, man. We'll see where it's at, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
like
friend of the show.
I will root against you guys if y'all play the Eagles.
Hey, I know a guy, Ray Ellis. Ray Ellis, you a big Eagles fan? You know Ray Ellis? Yeah, he's from Canton, Ohio down here. Yeah, he related to the family. So yeah.
And like I say every week, go Browns, bitches. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.